The foundation is we have three pieces in Hydrograph. The front end generates a artifact that we leverage, which is the middle XML layer. And the main thing why we developed that is we didn't want to tie any piece.
What did you use to develop it? What is the develop? What is it? I think I read in the story Eclipse, right?
Right. So the front end is a rich client platform, RCP. The middle layer is just an XML document. So we have an XSD, so it conforms to. And then the back end, if you probably heard from Clark, we started with cascading, and we knew we had to make a switch, so we switched to Spark. And that was really a test for ourselves, can we actually do the switch? And we're able to make it. So if you think about what modules, we actually have two back-end modules you can choose from, and because we made it actually switch ourselves. And it was a good test to confirm to us that we didn't have to change anything on the front end or the middle layer. So very modular that we were able to add this a new backend into the system. And our existing applications were not impacted at all.
Yeah. So tell us about, I'm curious about cascading in Spark, right? There's a lot of momentum in the Spark community. Can you talk to that and why you made that transition from cascading to Spark a little bit more?
I think it's with, we want to work in the area that's making the most push towards the next thing, and we see Spark as the contender here, or maybe even already in that space. So that's why we chose this, and I think the area that we fit in here is we bridge the gap with a lot of different interfaces that developers like to work in, and this creates a nice interface in terms of a GUI that anyone can leverage and work in this area with modern technologies that the ramp-up time is easier in this form with the visual cues.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's used an ETL tool is very familiar with that style of interface. Even some of the streaming tools like NiFi all use a very similar type of interface. So this is something that should be completely accessible to someone who is using a 20-year-old purchase technology or the most modern. And really the thing about ETL tools, this is all about ETL or data integration tools, is all about productivity. When you're dealing with tens of thousands of inputs, you need to have something that, the last thing you want to do is have somebody start from a command prompt every time. You want to be able to drag in an input file, drag in the file join, drag in these things and sort of wire them together and know that they'll run in a consistent manner, and in our case, a very well managed and governed manner. So that is absolutely key, and then enable as many people as possible to contribute. This is a very accessible type of interface. Anybody who's charted out, like, how would my system go together has probably drawn a version of that graph up on the board, and maybe didn't expect it to run, but has whiteboarded it out. And this is, ETL gives that accessibility of taking that thing that you charted out and really turning it into something that is very close to live code. So a huge productivity thing or play as well.